Hey, welcome to my live video. We're going to go ahead and jump in. Anybody who wants to jump in part way, I'll go ahead and update you as you come in. So this video is titled The New Economy Blueprint. So what is the new economy? I'm going to explain it, and so you can learn it in two simple steps here. So as you might know, I'm a digital marketer. I help companies and forward-thinking brands and thought leaders create sales automation systems and, of course, sales funnels, Facebook ads, and anything around the sales automation process. So let's go ahead and dive in. Generally speaking, there are two types of businesses that do really well in what I call the new economy. These are businesses that understand the digital landscape and they can adapt and evolve. And this year, maybe the next couple of years, it's Facebook ads. But in a few more years, I predict that there's another social media giant that's going to come out based on the restrictions that Facebook is now under. And Instagram is, you're just not getting the traffic that you used to on Instagram in terms of the viral sharing that happens. For the last several years, you could just share things on Instagrams and hundreds of people would see it. But it's just not the case anymore. So, as these platforms kind of grow to their size and they gel, then you have to be adaptable and ready for the next thing. But the architecture is always the same. If you have a business or service or product that you offer, generally there's certain problems that you help solve. Generally there's things that you help your customers do, and you create content around that brings people in. So we're not going to go into detail today about that, but the other type of business that does really well in what I call the new economy, sort of the post-COVID-19 economy where everything is being forced to shift to digital. The other thing you want to think about is mission-driven brands. If I see a brand or a leader that's on a mission, that even if they can sell anything. They can be a plumber, they can be a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. It doesn't matter in that sense. What you want to think about is, are they mission-driven? Do they have a charity that they care about? Are they doing this for a specific reason? Sometimes those things can really be what gathers a crowd around your business, and maybe you're not the most tech savvy, but if you can have a mission, you'll have a crowd, and if you can have a crowd, you'll always have a way to share your content. So those are the two businesses that are really set to do well in what I call the new economy. I've been talking about the new economy. I saw it coming for the last 5 to 10 years or so, and you can go on YouTube and search that. My buddy Matt Ritchie and I were talking about the new economy close to a decade ago, but the economy changes slow. But I guess what we want to say at the end is COVID-19 has really kicked this into high gear, right? Businesses must digitize. Businesses must get more of their customers' leads and sales from the web in an automated and efficient way. Or the company who does down the road, they can just afford to pay more for the customer to get them in the door. So if you work for a company that isn't either one or two, you want to be careful, because companies that are slow to adopt this process and sales automation will likely go out of business in the next 5 years. And I mean that. If COVID-19 didn't take the business you work for out entirely already, if they're not adopting sales automation technology, if they're not talking about their sales funnels, if they're not talking about all the ways that you can automate their relationship building process, which used to be time consuming and expensive and you had to hire elite salespeople to do. If you have an elite salesperson in your company, you can make him a superhero with a simple sales automation and lead gen funnel. It doesn't take much time to set up. It doesn't take much money to set up if you already have a website and that sort of thing. The misconception is this stuff takes a while. It doesn't take much time to do. It's not that hard once you know the strategy. So here's the thing. Keep it simple, right? The only thing modern businesses need to succeed are two things. The steady stream of clients and customers. Lead gen and sales automation can do that for you 24/7 around the clock. It's not a mystery, it's not voodoo, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And number two, that business, after you get the clients and leads flowing, you need a process to serve those customers efficiently with your goods. And I'll bet you, if you have a business, or you care about somebody that has a business, or you know that somebody that has a business, or you work for somebody that runs a business, you can help them adopt this stuff. It doesn't take much. The technology and tools that I used 10 years ago, you had to pay 10 grand or more to get built and set up to even get started. Now you can do it for $20 a month subscriptions. The technology stack to do this is not complicated anymore. But you've got to know the process, and most importantly, you have to know what content to put out there. And I call that your content sequence. Your content sequence is the golden measuring stick that everything else is measured by with your successful digital campaign. So many businesses overpay for websites. I paid 50 grand for a website. I was working on a project a couple years ago. We were looking at 20 grand with my team and I, and then they were getting quotes of like 100 grand. I'm like, okay, well, who sets the price for a website, right? Well, in some ways the price doesn't matter. What matters is, what's this website going to get me in terms of business, right? What's it going to actually net me at the end of the day? That's really what matters. But a lot of times, if you already have a website, one that's probably outdated, isn't it? We know how it goes. You put the content up there, you forget about it, and you don't even think about your content sequence. Your content sequence, the pages don't matter. Instagram doesn't matter. Facebook doesn't matter. What matters is the sequence in which they see your content that builds trust and rapport with them, so they click and make an action, pick up the phone, grab an email, reach out to you, make a sale, whatever it is. It's that sequence that matters. So just like in real life, you would never go up to somebody on the street and say, hey, do you want to do business with me right here? And it's like asking to get married on the first date, or whatever you might think that concept is. And of course, if you do that, you recognize what kind of customers you're going to get. And usually the answer is 0 customers, because sales and trust building is a process. So if you have a business, you need more leads and sales, and you want to automate that process, it's simple. It can be easily done. Drop a message in my direct messages. I can help you with that. I have free training on that. Number 2, if you work for a business, or if you know a business that you care about, somebody that runs it that you care about, and you want to see them do well and continue to thrive, because let's face it, a lot of businesses are in trouble right now and they need to reinvent. But here's the thing, every business has something that's very core, good, and important, and probably still in demand. They're just in a tough financial situation right now and they need a kickstart. So sometimes for a few grand, you can get one of these things moving and you can get leads in the door. So this doesn't have to be majorly expensive. It doesn't have to take months and months and months, but it does take a couple weeks of planning, and you have to do it right. There's a lot of wrong ways to do that. There's a lot of people out here saying they know how to do it. I can't speak for everybody, but there's a lot of gurus giving you pieces of the puzzle, and they're not helping you build the whole sequence. They're charging 10 grand, 5 grand. I've spent it myself. 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever the case may be. And they're giving you a piece of it, and you still have to go out and figure out the rest of it, and you have to pay for this and pay for that. They didn't tell you. You don't know what you're getting into. Sorry, I'm a little fired up because the guru world, and I'll buy my online course. It's 10 grand, and you'll come, you look at me, I'm on a boat, and I'm holding a glass of scotch with a cigar. Like, I don't know. I'm just tired of that, and I've been doing this a long time. It doesn't have to cost a lot, and it doesn't take a lot. But if you don't act on this, if you continue doing it the old way, and the old way is not working, and you see your competitors growing, guess what? They probably have sales automation. It's not complicated. It's not expensive, and you can do it in a few weeks. But what matters is you take some action. So I hope you figured out, if your business is in trouble, you got to get your funding straight first. But beyond that, you need ways to grow and get new leads and customers. So I'm going to step down off my soapbox. I'm passionate about this. Thank you guys for joining me today. And by all means, drop me a direct message if you have any questions, or reach out to me. All right, I'll see you next time.